do concurrent viewers. I thought it was interesting. It would be interesting to compare two different Elizabethan ages, and I had some memory about Elizabeth I having trouble over her monopolies, and I've been looking it up, and I found something quite interesting. Well, interesting to me. So, okay, here's a chapter with the heading on monopolies. And we know that monopolies can become corrupt because what was it that Lord Acton said? He said, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, and if you have an absolute monopoly, then you're going to abuse your position. It's only natural that, well, not natural, but, predictable that you would do so unless you're some kind of saint, and most people are not saints. So the granting of monopolies would give individual nobles and merchants the sole right to manufacture or sell particular goods. Elizabeth intended for monopolies to promote business and boost the economy, but because one person now controlled the supply of a particular product, it meant that prices rose. Elizabeth, who started her reign £227,000 in debt, also made money from granting the monopoly licenses. So it's a monetisation of a right that can be sold to her subjects. So by saying, I grant you, I think it's a charter or something, I grant you the right to have a monopoly on the selling of this particular good, then obviously you will pay me money to grant you the charter. And who would benefit? Well, I would benefit from selling you the charter, selling you the right to have the monopoly, and you as the monopolizer of the goods in question would be able to raise prices, and nobody would be able to do anything about it because you're the only supplier. And so the consumer would be the victim of this bargain between the merchant and the monarch. And obviously people complained. So it continues. Towards the end of Elizabeth's reign, some MPs felt monopolies were unfair and were being abused. They protested against them, and in 1597 to 1598 and 1601, and would not grant taxes until they had been withdrawn. So it was obviously a problem for them to take such action. At the stage, Elizabeth compromised and withdrew some monopolies. And where I'm going with this is really that there might be some parallels between what Elizabeth I was doing. So even as an absolute monarch, she had to back down because there were too many people complaining about the high prices they had to pay because of the monopolies she had granted to these merchants. And obviously she personally benefited by granting these monopolies, but this was at the expense of the Elizabethan consumer. The situation now is that, the situation now and then is that monopolies can be very powerful, particularly on things that are desirable. What is a little different now is that the thing that we want is access to social media platforms, because we know that we need, well, we use them for fun and we use them for commercial purposes. And we are addicted to social media. And politicians want access to social media in order to propagate their message. And obviously some political messages are regarded as threatening. And it's only inevitable that people would want to control access to it and the kind of messages that are allowed. And these monopolies are very powerful. We know how powerful it is because we saw Twitter deplatform Trump. And what's different between now and then is that we can access social media for free. So they can't be, saying things like, well, you're being directly harmed by not being able to access social media. But what we do experience if we are deplatformed or prevented from posting is that we suffer a loss of status, right? I mean, let's just admit that we do. It's like you're a social and political pariah because you've been banned from Facebook, and Facebook won't let you on unless you show them your ID. So although it's not a monetary loss, what we suffer is some disbenefit, something that we don't want happening to us, because the monopoly that is the social media platform has taken against us, and we don't think it's fair. So what I was talking about was powerful monopolies, paying the monarch lots of money to have rights, to have a right to their monopoly. And Elizabeth was doing very well from it. She just kept granting the monopoly for this and a monopoly for that. And she managed to pay off all her debts using her ability to sell charters to monopolies. I think that's what they're called. And for social media, I know that some people have been talking about nationalising social media platforms, or at any rate, having one that is officially the government's. And I see no harm in that. I suppose if you were to do such a thing, the government would have to say, look, we need all your ID, we need to know what your real name is, and where you live and all that. And I think that would be fair enough. But if you're a serious person, then you do want to say these things under your real name, and you want the moral and intellectual respectability of saying, yes, I do believe what I say. I'm going to defend it, and I challenge people to challenge me. And so it wouldn't be fair to say that the complete monopolies, because obviously for YouTube, they have their competitors such as BitChute and DLive and Odyssey, and what's the other one called? rumble. But I don't think it should be run like this, because what happens is that we have our little echo chambers, and what we want, in it, certainly for political discourse, is that everybody is in the same room, so everybody gets a chance to say what they want, and has a and gets a grievance, a voice heard. So the idea of splitting them up and saying, you're a gab kind of person, you're a whatever kind of person is not particularly helpful. We actually want them to be concentrated in one platform, and so that most of the debate takes place, so that the debate takes place there, and it's the official debating forum, so that ideas get quickly analysed, challenged, and arguments are developed, and so if you win the argument, you just get attention. You get official attention, you get official scrutiny, and if you jump through all the hoops that are put before you to get your idea accepted, it's all done as quickly as possible, and that's how I think things should be run. And so what I'm saying is that they should be nationalised, and I think this is an idea by Paul Craig Roberts, that social media platforms should be nationalised. And let me just find out where the nationalisation of social media platforms. I do hope I won't get a strike just for suggesting that. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's not such a transgressive idea because The Guardian says it. We need to nationalise Google, Facebook and Amazon. And this man has a very unpronounceable name, Nick Schnurchek, I think it's called. So it's spelled SRNICEK. So he's saying that they're too powerful, these social media platforms. Okay, maybe I don't really want to read it to you. So it would be in the public interest to nationalise these social media platforms. And I agree. So how are you, my chickadees? Hello, Midnight Rider. I have seen one Kate Blanchett Elizabeth films. Yeah, that was the one when she was sort of riding a horse and looking very attractive, and just this all very dramatic. I saw that. So I see you, Bully Bomper. We kind of interacted, or well, in the same chat on Daniel Shinkevich's stream. Long time no see, Icon Greenie's popped up. Chrissy Ramsey's boasting about her husband cooking her dinner. What did he do? Did he go to Marks and Spencer's and get the, meal for two thing? I don't think I want to steal your husband. Perhaps there is someone I love. It's so funny, all these funny stories about me. It is the old Saigon Green who doesn't think very much of Americans. Who's Carl Looming? German. Anything to do with Diana X? Well, in a way, you can all share me, the Anglosphere in Australasia, in North America, and, well, in the UK, and... All right. I do like European languages in my chat. I feel so cosmopolitan and continental. Oh, thank you, Saigon Green, thinking I'd be better than Kathy Hopkins. This is my hope. I think I have the wherewithal to become a media personality, and I think I would be quite good. And my friends and my family would be proud of me, and so would you all be proud of me. And that's all I wanted to say about Elizabethan monopolies. Both the Elizabethan Ages and, we need to... Okay, so the main point is that the monopolies got pretty powerful even under an absolute monarch. And now, we have very powerful monopolies who are social media platforms, and they control what we think, you see, and governments see their potential. It's like, well, we can give more prominence to messages that we like, and, give less prominence to messages we don't like, and in this way control the thinking of the populace. And I was going to say this is fair enough. Is it fair enough? Well, the thing is, it would only be fair enough if the moral system that our government followed was the correct one, and this we do not know, because it's all controversial. Nobody agrees with wokeness. Well, not everybody agrees with wokeness. Everything the government does is not tried, not tested, and resented, and therefore it needs legitimacy. And the best way of getting legitimacy is through old books. And I've been saying, well, why not use the Quran? Particularly when you don't have a religion, or you're not sure what it is, and the one that you think you have, hasn't been working for centuries, and you're in a bit of trouble. So, I should be on mainstream media explaining all this to people who are supposed to understand my points. Is Jen still around? She was on Week in Review. Yeah, I'm a bit hungry, so I'll be off. So thank you for coming by, and I'll speak to you again soon.